Let's continue with our discussion of The 5 Types of Wealth by Sahil Bloom. Today is the fourth part of our interpretation. The theme of this lecture is mental wealth. You could also call it psychological wealth. You might think mental wealth refers to things like enjoying cultural or artistic activities, playing music, appreciating calligraphy, strolling under the moon, reciting poetry at the sight of beautiful landscapes. But that's not it. Those are relatively easy to access and don't require much accumulation. What Bloom refers to as mental wealth is the energy that enables you to fight against normalcy. We've discussed before that mediocrity is like gravity. The world is set up in such a way that it nudges you toward a normalized life. Be content, live like everyone else. Maybe you once had grand ambitions as a child, but reality quickly pushes you to compromise. By the time most people are 30, all they want is a stable job with a predictable paycheck. They're willing to obey the rules as long as they can retire safely. This is the natural state of man. But some refuse to sign that ceasefire. We've looked at Henry Oliver's second act, where many people, even past middle age, continue to fight. They refuse stagnation, reject the status quo, and pursue not just achievement, but uniquely personal achievement. As the Greeks would say, they seek arete, to fully realize their distinct potential and flourish. Bloom calls this struggle the greatest hero's journey of your life. The environment pushes you to compromise, but evolution sometimes rewards uniqueness. Mental wealth provides the certainty to maintain your uniqueness. Adversity doesn't break you, victory doesn't make you complacent. You become anti-fragile. You pursue growth with confidence, live a meaningful life, and find deep fulfillment. The foundation of mental wealth is curiosity, as Nabokov said. Curiosity is insubordination in its purest form. Curiosity makes you question the status quo. You want to know how the world really works. You want to know what other possibilities exist. You seek new knowledge, long for growth, and remain open to new experiences. If you hear about something fresh, you want to try it. If there's a place you haven't been, you want to go see it. Bloom cites studies showing that people with strong curiosity tend to be more positive, less anxious, more satisfied with life, and cognitively healthier. They enjoy better psychological and physical health and live more energetic, fulfilling lives. The elderly who remain vibrant into their 80s and 90s almost always share one trait: unrelenting curiosity. Curiosity, then, is the fountain of youth. But did your 10-year-old self ever imagine that your curiosity would steadily decline over the years? For many, curiosity begins to fade in late adolescence. By their 20s or 30s, they lose interest in anything beyond their work. By their 40s or 50s, they stop trying to understand the world. By their 60s or 70s, they give up learning altogether, and even believe they're entitled to do so. Look around, and you'll see plenty of such people. From an evolutionary standpoint, this makes sense. Curiosity drives us to explore until we find a niche. Once found, the drive wanes. But as modern humans, we want to transcend that biological setting. We don't just want to reproduce and die like other animals. We want to flourish. That's why we need mental wealth. Mental wealth is grounded in curiosity, but built upon 3 pillars. 1. Purpose. A long-term vision that guides your decisions and aligns your actions. 2. Growth. The desire to improve and realize your potential. 3. Space. The private, uninterrupted environment you need for reflection and recharge. Let's explore each. Purpose. At its core, purpose is your connection to something bigger than yourself. You're not just living for your own comfort. You're contributing to a larger cause. Purpose shapes your identity. It answers, who am I? What do I stand for? Where am I headed? A scientist's purpose may be to uncover the mysteries of the universe. An entrepreneur's purpose may be to build things the world has never seen. A teacher's purpose may be to nurture great students. Bloom says his purpose is to create positive ripples through his writing, ventures, and relationships, impacting people who in turn impact others. Purpose provides not only psychological strength but also physical benefits. Studies show that elderly people with a clear sense of purpose live on average 7 years longer and with better quality of life. A study of 7,000 Americans found that, after age 50, people with strong purpose had significantly lower risk of death. Research on blue zones, regions with unusually high longevity, found a common factor: A clear life purpose. Nietzsche put it best. He who has a why to live can bear almost any how. How can you find your purpose? Okinawa, Japan, is a famous longevity region and part of what researchers call the blue zones. The centenarians there share a unique concept known as ikigai, which means life purpose or reason for being. The original Japanese definition of ikigai is a bit more complex, but Bloom offers a simplified version in his book. As shown in the diagram, it is the intersection of three circles. What you love. What activities bring you joy? What do you naturally turn to when you're happy? What you're good at. What tasks feel easy for you, but are difficult for others? What the world needs. Whether in your family, workplace, or community, what are the things people truly need you to do? The overlap of these three circles is your ikigai. And here I want to add a note: as parents, we should encourage our children to explore many activities early on, so they grow to love and become skilled at different things. Otherwise, imagine they grow up finding their greatest passion in binge-watching shows and their greatest talent in gossip. Then the world's need that overlaps with these two would simply be being a consumer. That's awkward, isn't it? Bloom also presents an even simpler model to help identify purpose, based on two dimensions. 1. Whether you are skilled at it or not. 2. Whether it energizes you or drains you. If an activity makes you feel joyful, alive, and fulfilled, it energizes you. If it leaves you exhausted, it drains you. By combining these two dimensions, skill and energy, you can classify your activities into three zones. Zone of genius, where you are both skilled and energized. This is the zone where your life's purpose should primarily reside. Zone of hobbies, where you are energized but not skilled. In plain terms, the not good at it but love it zone. It's fine to spend time here because it makes you happy. And if you persist, you may eventually become skilled, transforming it into your zone of genius. Danger zone, where you are skilled but drained. This is the zone you must avoid. You might excel here and even earn consistent financial rewards, perhaps even make a living, but the work leaves you feeling empty and worn out. Many people's jobs fall into this category. Stable income, but little joy, no passion, and growing fatigue. Life is short. Don't waste your time in the danger zone. Find a way to move on. Growth. Growth isn't about degrees, certificates, or specific milestones. It's about actualizing your potential. Bloom shares the example of an 88-year-old woman who enrolled in 2 art classes. Not to become a professional painter or prove herself, but because painting made her feel alive. Growth is not a means to an end. It is the end. It's about reaching higher, becoming stronger, and expressing your gifts. As the saying attributed to Gandhi goes, live as if you were to die tomorrow. Learn as if you were to live forever. Space. Space is where you cultivate your uniqueness. Think of Viktor Frankl's words. Between stimulus and response there is a space. In that space lies our freedom and power to choose our response. Space can be mental or physical. It's the pause where you reflect instead of reacting. Practical methods include tech-free walks. No headphones, no phone, just thinking. Rockefeller's garden time. Spending moments of quiet outdoors daily. Bill Gates' Think Week. A week of isolation, reading, and reflection. Bloom's Think Day. A monthly day offline for deep thought and study. The simplest, most effective? Walking. Studies show walking stimulates creative and divergent thinking, improves brain plasticity, memory, and stress management. Walking side by side also strengthens connections with others. Another method is journaling. Bloom suggests recording 3 things nightly. Victory point. One small win of the day. Anxiety point. Something that caused stress. Writing it down helps release it. Gratitude point. Something you're thankful for. Bloom's methods are mostly practical, but in the end, we might ask ourselves, what is the essence of mental wealth? I believe it is a sense of certainty. A steady confidence in the face of all uncertainty and all the ups and downs of life. Don't you think so? The certainty that comes from purpose means that, no matter how the world changes, you will not be lost. You always know clearly who you are and which direction to go. The certainty that comes from growth means that even when you encounter failures and setbacks, even when things fall apart, you are still growing. If you win, you gain experience. If you lose, you gain lessons. Growth is the most certain thing in the world because it depends only on you. The certainty that comes from space means you build an inner order, like an operating system. Whatever happens, with this system in place, you won't collapse or lose your clarity. But this sense of certainty must be built on curiosity. Otherwise, it hardens into stubborn rigidity. What you are certain about is not your current fixed state, but rather your desire to explore, your drive to grow, and your unique individuality. Maybe the economy is bad, and you can't find a job. Maybe the house you bought turns into an unfinished project. Maybe your child worked hard in tutoring classes but learned very little. The uncertainties of life can make people anxious and fearful. But if you possess mental wealth, then no matter how the outside world changes, your purpose remains the same. No matter how life rises and falls, your growth never stops. No matter how much external pressure comes, you retain your autonomy. When facing something new, your first reaction is always curiosity, not avoidance. Mental wealth makes you cooler. That's it for today's content. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
If you feel there is value in this, please like, subscribe to this channel, and leave your thoughts or suggestions in the comments section. Let's grow together and read more good books.